Yeah, I'm fully aware that you are the chief scout of the club and you should have the say in how the scouting's done, but I just don't really think we need to go to games anymore. What's the point in sending scouts all the way around the world to watch some football when all you can do is just do the scouting on the One Football app instead, believe me. Yeah, if you've not downloaded it, mate, download it for absolutely free from the top line of the description, because what you can do is you can go onto any league in the world, any club in the world, and find any player in the world that you want and see all their up-to-date attributes and stats from games. And, I mean, what's the point in going to games anymore? We can just do it on the One Football app. There's a reason it is the best football app out there, and you can do your scouting on there, mates. You really should look to do it. The days of going to games are over. There's no point doing it anymore. So download the app for absolutely free from the top line of the description, because if you've not done it already, it really helps my channel out. So massively appreciate it, my Chief Scout friend. All right, well, see you later. Have a good day. Hello and welcome back to On The Rocks. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to the start of a transfer special where we've got £30 million to spend on players. So today we are definitely going to have some fun trying to get in some wonder kids and a few decent players like that. First things first though, if you are excited for today's transfer special, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and make sure you leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Before we get into the signings though, before we get into buying some players, I'm still crying about yesterday. Yesterday was a very sad episode and God, I am just sad. Sadness is the only thing I can think of. It's the only word I can use to express how I feel about how yesterday went down. Of course, if you don't know how yesterday went down, there's a link probably on top of the screen right now to go and I don't know why I pointed that way and nodded upwards. There's a link on the screen somewhere to take to see yesterday's episode if you really want to see what a palaver that was. Now, you may remember that we asked for the stadium to be expanded in the middle of last season, and they said they were going to do it by 2,500 seats. Well, now the season's finished, they said they're going to do it by 5,000 seats. So we'll come back for next season with a 25,000 seater stadium, which is a nice bit of added capacity. It's actually a 20% increase. That's a pretty sizable chunk of extra seats added, to be fair. So before we look to try and sign some players, we need to do a little bit of analysis on the squad. And this is how we are looking right now. I've decided to fill out the first team with players, but given we've got 30 million, a lot of these guys might be replaced. The only really important thing we need to do is bring in a left winger, and we could try and get Anthony Gordon back on loan again. He's got one more year on his contract at Everton. He was available for free transfer until Everton triggered a clause in his contract to get him on for an extra year. He is transfer listed, but transfer listed for 16 million, which is a lot of money. Now, we'd love to have him back on the grounds that he has done phenomenally well, always in double figures for goals in the league. In all competitions, he gets double figures in assists too. So, for me, he's a great player, and if we go to make an offer, loan offer, they're happy to let him go on loan. So, I think, first and foremost, we bring him back to just guarantee we've got someone, but I think we make a permanent signing there as well. We need a first choice and a backup. Now, the backup choice is already coming in Jose Antonio Diaz. Now, we spoke about him a few episodes ago. He's not joining until January before you can't sign players basically in Scotland until they turn 18 years old. So we've got to wait for him to be 18 years old and then wait for the transfer window. So he joins us on the 1st of January. So we still have a bit of a hole at left wing. Speaking of players joining us as well, this guy's also joining us. We signed him last summer, but he was too young again. He's finally 18 years old, so he's going to join us this summer as a backup left back. But back to the team screen, we do need to get a left winger in of some sort. So we'll look on the shortlist for these guys already, because I've already got a list of players that I want, essentially. In fact, I've got a little post-it note full of things that I want. So we want the winger on the left-hand side as a first choicer and a backup. We've got the backup sorted pretty much, but a first choicer would be great. On the grounds that we sold Tom Ritchie to LAFC in January, we are without a backup keeper, so we could do with a backup keeper and a backup right back on the grounds that Vontae Daly-Campbell is leaving us to join Cardiff once his contract expires. And we could do with another striker as well. Nisbet and Harry Storm have done very well this season, 28 goals and 10 for the both of them. Of course, Shankland got quite a few in that as well. But we could do with another striker, because we've got a lot of good strikers coming through who are very young. But I think getting a new star striker, someone who's going to get another 28 goals a season like Nisbet for a couple of seasons, would be really good. So a striker's also on my list, but I'm not too fussed about first choice or backup in that regard. So without wasting any time, I do have a shortlist set up right now for 2025-26 transfer targets. And if we start off with the goalkeeper, there's only one goalkeeper on target right now, and it's this guy from Colo Colo in Chile. He's 18 years old, and to me, looks very, very good. Love his agility, love his aerial command and communication attributes, really good handling and kick. He's good everywhere. There's nothing but reflexes, maybe slightly poor at 10, but he's 18 years old. Like, this guy will be incredible, I think, at some point. The issue is he's already got 4 caps for Chile as well, which is mental too. So he's a Chilean first choice keeper. Average ratings are superb as well, really solid stuff, and he might even be challenging Bazunu to start things off. The thing is, I imagine he will be expensive. So transfer, ask agent about availability. Now, he wants to join us on £9 a week. However, Colo Colo will probably want a high fee. So make an offer. We've got £30 million to spend. I'm not quite sure what is a high fee for Colo Colo, but let's put £3 million on the table. Currently, there's actually no right backs on my shortlist on the grounds that I haven't finished scouting the right backs yet. So we'll get onto those later on in today's episode, but it's not a priority position. The main priority position is left wing. Now, we've always played with an inverted winger on the left-hand side. Most of these players here are not inverted wingers. They're actual wingers who don't play with the right foot. So it might mean a change to the system. We've sorted it by current ability. Adam Hasek is probably my first choice. 12 crossing, 15 dribbling is solid. Good passing, good technique, decent work rate. But the physicals are where he absolutely shines with the 18 acceleration, 19 agility and 16 pace. So again, not entirely sure how much money the team from the Czech Republic actually wants for him, but at 19 years old, I think he is an absolutely fantastic player. If we go to ask agent about availability, £6,000, but again, it's going to be a high fee. So again, I'm not too sure what a high fee means. So let's put it up to like 5 million and just make a bid. He is my favourite and sort of first choice. I would love to sign Simon English from Swansea because again, he looks just as good and does have a better right foot as well. The thing is, he does have a minimum fee release clause of £36 million, which is more than we have in our transfer budget. And if we go to make an offer and just suggest, they want 36 million. So we will keep tabs on Simon English, but I doubt we'll get him. What could be a compromise potentially for a little while is this guy currently playing for Athletic Bilbao, Elya La Cruz. Now, he's a 17-year-old winger, but turns 18 in literally 5 days' time. So he'll sign at this transfer window. His dribbling is good, crossing not so much. First touch is good, long shots not so much. Passing not so much, but technique is brilliant. He's a nearly man. He's not as complete as some of these other players, and he's not quite as quick as well, but mentally is very good, and crucially is an inverted wing, which is what we have been using basically. He's also transfer listed for 5.5 million, which I think is a bit of a bargain at 17 years old with 5-star potential. His average ratings have been great. Now, this is playing in the Spanish 3rd tier, this one. It could even be 4th tier now. I can't quite remember, but 13 goals, 13 assists. Like, he knows how to score goals and create goals. I think we sort of wait a little while. We wait and see if we can't get Hasek or English, and we might come for him later on. There are some other chaps here. This guy from Atalanta who looks good, 14 crossing, 15 dribbling. I think it's the best out of the crossing and dribbling out of all of these players. He's got some good pace and acceleration, but everything else is kind of, I guess where it matters is good, but everything else is not quite as impressive. But again, transfer, ask agent about availability. Again, it's just every club wants high fees for these players, which is kind of understandable, I guess. Let's just put like a £3 million bid on the table for this guy. There's a guy here from Chile, also from Colo Colo, 19-year-old winger, who again looks solid, good pace, good overall player. He's wanted currently by AC Milan, who have just gone on to win the Champions League, so you'd imagine he'd want to go there rather than us. But again, we're just going to keep making bids for some of these players and just, oh, he's got a low release fee clause, 3.1 million. I didn't realise that. Okay, we'll make the bid of £3.1 million and see if he wants to join us. He apparently has no interest though right now, which isn't great. And then the final player is this chap currently on loan at Venezia from Torino. Is a winger and a striker, finishing a little low for a striker. But again, looks quite good. I'm going to put bids in for all these players basically because I feel like we need to, essentially. I feel like we need to. 3 million, make the offer. And then if we look at strikers as well, there are some decent strikers available. Loads of them though. There's some really decent ones available who are really good in all areas apart from finishing. Finishing is like 7 or 8. These guys all have pretty decent finishing, such as this guy. There's only 13 finishing and he's a little bit slow, but is available to buy for 10 million from Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not quite sure he's worth 10 million though, right now. Diego Traverso, currently playing for River, has got... He's slow. This is the issue. He's got some really good attributes in terms of his technicals and mentals. Physicals are rubbish though. But hopefully they will improve a little bit. But see, I love the technique 17, teamwork 17, work rate 16, flair 16, determination 13. Like, he's got some really solid attributes. I just don't know if he'd be very good at scoring goals. I mean, 2 goals in 7 league appearances. I mean, it's not really much to go off there, if I'm honest with you. I think we maybe put a bid in for him, though, of like, I don't know, 3.3 and just see what they say. Drew Mcnelly, I think, is my first choice player. He's currently at Blackburn, and as you can see, his physicals are through the roof. Where they matter for a striker, finishing, first touch and dribbling, all really good as well. Work rate is high, off the ball is good. The thing is, Blackburn are going to want a lot of money for him, as well as Stoke interested in him as well. Transfer, ask agent about availability. He's going to want a lot of money per week. Blackburn don't want to sell him, but he does want to join us. So crucially, I think we maybe splash the cash a little bit. Let's start at 8 million. There's also Mario Klernick, also at Bayer Leverkusen, who's wanted and is transfer listed for £1.3 million right now. Oh, okay. 19 years old. Has made 1 appearance and only got 1 goal, which is 100% goal scoring ratio. I mean, you can't ask for more than that, can you? A little bit slow. The issue with him is he's not particularly fast. And for a guy who's 6'2", his heading is terrible at 10. But is it worth a punt at 19 years old at 1.3 million? Maybe it's worth seeing what he wants contractually at 1.3 million. And then finally, this Brazilian chap down here is a player that I've had my eye on. Again, his pace is just a bit rubbish, really. I want a fast, pacey striker. But he's got a model personality, model citizen personality, I should say. Finishing's decent, first touch incredible, technique incredible, teamwork incredible. So for me, he might be worth a punt as well. But again, these clubs do not... I don't expect any of these bids to be accepted apart from the ones with release fee clauses right now. So bids are being made on all of those players, and straight away, the £3.1 million for Javier Monreal has been accepted, but he is more interested in joining Milan and Torino, which is kind of understandable right now. Frustrating, but we'll keep tabs on him. So literally the one player that we knew was going to have a bid accepted doesn't want to talk to us, which is really, really annoying actually. He's the left winger, isn't he? And it just keeps bringing me back to this young guy who is available for 5.5 million. We didn't put a bid down for him. If we compare him with Anthony Gordon, they're actually ridiculously similar. More so than I thought. Obviously, Gordon is slightly better in some areas because he's just older. But this guy, if he's 17 years old now, imagine what he's like when he's going to be 24. Okay, this has changed my mind a little bit. I think we go all in on the 5.5. It's a big one, but I think we go all in because we know it's going to be accepted. He might not be quite as good as some of the other guys, but I think it's worth it, you know. Let's start negotiations on his contract. He wants to be a regular starter, moving up to an important player. Fine by me. Wants to improve the coaching team. I don't know about that one, lad. Let's get rid of that and get rid of the improved defenders. But we will definitely challenge for the league title, and we'll send you on an intensive language course. Suggest promises. You love to see it. Negotiate the contract. He wants £8 a week. He has locked in a release fee clause. Now that could be a little... We'll have to try and get rid of that as early as possible. So let's get rid of yearly wage rise and unused substitute fee. I'll leave the wages as it is because we've got so many wages to spend now. Suggest that he's happy. I just want to get him into the club, and then 6 months down the line, we get rid of this release fee clause somehow. Now, Drew McNally, the player we wanted, Stoke have come in bidding £24 million for him. We might not be able to match that. I mean, we can do with the money we've got, but I'd rather not spend it all on one player. And now we have to go through all the rejected bids as well. So Torino rejecting the bid for the young left wing, although we don't really mind too much about that now that we've got the other guy coming in, I suppose. So we can sort of ignore these wingers for now. Palmeiras have rejected the bid for the young striker from Brazil, who I quite like. I think he's quite good. If we're saying Drew McNally is the best player available to us, but he's at £24 million, there's not a huge difference. Obviously, he's better in terms of his speed and physicality and slightly better going forward. But actually, technically, aerially, mentally, this guy is better from Brazil. They're very similar. More similar than I thought, actually. I'm finding this out with a lot of these players. I think we maybe try and just keep pumping it up for this guy a little bit. How about 5 million? See what they say. Of course, the bid from Drew McNally has been rejected, and Stoke have had their £28 million bid accepted on that one. So I think that's probably our interest gone in him now, as Mlada have rejected the bid for Hasek, who is probably the best winger available. If we compare him with the guy we're looking to sign, what's going on here then? Well, actually, physically and in terms of speed, Hasek's better. But again, the 17-year-old is as good when it comes to vision, as good when it comes to defending, as good in the air, but better technically attacking him. I think actually, La Cruz is literally the best one to go for. I think we ignore every other winger now. Apart from Anthony Gordon, who will come in as well, I do want him to sort of be there as a kind of backup player alongside us to keep going this season with us, because he's been fantastic for us. Another bid for a striker rejected. That's the Argentinian Traverso. Compare him. I'm getting confused with all these players now. Who's the one we're trying to sign from Palmeiras? This one. This was the guy we saw at Palmeiras, and they are literally the same person. There's really not much in it at all. Maybe Jan is slightly better because he's faster and better attacking right now, but I mean, it's so close and tight. There's nothing really to separate the two of them. So maybe we keep going with Diego. He's just a bit slow, isn't he? The slowness is going to annoy me, I think. Oh, of course, there was one player though, the striker for 1.3 from Bayer Leverkusen. That's his release fee clause, isn't it? Now, how keen am I to sign this player? I mean, let's compare him quickly with Jan, for example. Again, they're basically the same sort of player. There's really not much between all of them. So we could try and just grab a couple of them, but I don't really feel that's worthwhile. I don't know. We've got good strikers. The thing is, they're all young, and we need like a superstar as opposed to we've got plenty of young strikers. We need a superstar. That's what we need. We just probably can't get one for 30 million. I think maybe we put a contract on the table for this guy just in case of anything major going wrong. Although a release fee clause of £2.5 million, which is limited. We can't get rid of that, as you can see. He wants big... I don't like it. He wants big wages as well. And he will end up being a backup. No, I'm not going to do that one. I prefer the other guys. The Argentinian guy and the Brazilian guy. And then Colo Colo also rejecting the bid of £3 million for their goalkeeper, who is classed as a wonder kid now. That's changed in like the last... That wasn't wonder kid like 2 days ago in game time. So, given that he is a wonder kid, we keep pumping money in for this guy. Has he got a release fee clause at all? Contract info... No release fee clause. Okay, well, let's not go too hasty. Our previous offer was 3 million, I think. Let's go 5.5. But again, more bids being rejected for Jan, who I think is probably my favourite on the grounds of the model citizen. I just love that about him. So I think we maybe just prioritise him. Let's just keep trying to get him in for now. We maybe ignore the Argentine striker because, to be fair, I'm doing all of this. The transfer window has not even started yet, as Colo Colo reject the 5 point. The keeper and the Brazilian striker we keep putting money up for. I think they'll be important to bring in. But I should also say, we're not at the transfer window yet. It's not opened yet, so it still might be more expensive for us to buy players. We'll wait and see who's on the transfer list when this opens as well. Oh, but River have come back saying they want £9.5 million for the Argentine striker. I just don't like him as much as the Brazilian one. So we're going to reject that for now, but we know we can come back in for him. Whereas Colo Colo now want £10 million, rising to 12.5 or so for the goalkeeper. Now, this is something we can do, particularly when I see Wonder Kid. That gets me very hot under the collar. I don't like this 40% sell-on fee, so we're going to reject it and then make a fresh bid and get rid of that tomorrow. Anthony Gordon's coming back to the club, which is great. So at least we've got one winger coming in. As again, 10 million for a young striker? I think I could be going a bit mental there. That might be a bit too much. But back on to the keeper, make an offer. Now, we can get rid of the percentage of profit from next sale. We know they want 10 million now. How about 8 million now? And then 2 million after 10 international appearances. Maybe make it 20 international appearances. Suggest they want 11. Right, bring it down to 9. 9 and 2. Suggest. Oh, lads, stop being idiots here. After 50 league games, an extra. No. Remove and exclude. Suggest. They've literally locked it in. They really want that sort of 12 million, don't they? Or just under 12 million. In fact, no, it's more than 12 million, but nearly 13 million this, won't it? I think the deal they offered earlier was better, wasn't it, technically, even though it was more up front. I'm going to reject it and come back in again tomorrow when I can negotiate again. So we go back in again. We get rid of the percentage of profit from next sale. Get rid. After 20 international games. In fact, let's remove that. Let's bring this down to 6 now, installments. Over the next 3 years, we will give you another 6 million. So it's 12 million overall, but it's only 6 up front, and then we can that seems very affordable to me. Suggest they like that, which is the cheapest bid we've made. Maybe we could have gone a bit cheaper, I don't know, but I think that is a decent deal for a Wonder Kid goalkeeper. Watch him now, like, not want to talk to us and reject contracts. Does he want to talk contracts? He does! Bloody hell, though. He wants to be a star player on 32 grand a week. Right, first and foremost, compare with Bazunu. God, Bazunu's so much better. So I don't want him to be a star player yet. I mean, Bazunu's 23. In my books, he's getting on a little bit. We need this guy to be the backup for like 2 or 3 years. We can't get him as a star player right now. Surely? Start negotiations. Can we make him... It's going to offend him by saying cup goalkeeper. He's come back in orange already as a star player. Okay. We can talk about being a star player. That's fine. We just can't... Oh, I'm so torn. Because we can now afford 35 grand a week because we've got £400,000 to spend on wages. We can afford that. I just don't want to give it to an 18-year-old who's going to be backup. But he is a wonder kid, which means he will be like superb in the future. So maybe we'll rotate him and Bazunu around. But 25 grand. And we'll pay a big unused substitute fee bonus as well. We just need to get... We have to get this weekly wage down. 27. I mean, what are we? He's accepted 27. I'm thinking long term with this one. I'm thinking long term. We've never had a good goalkeeper come through the youth intakes, as far as I remember. So this is our best ticket. He's also a wonder kid, right? Which means he is got at least 100 current ability right now and 150 potential ability at least. So theoretically, he could be in the future one of the best keepers in the game. So it's expensive now, but I think it'll be worth it. Let's get him in. Our backup keeper is going to be the most paid. So our new backup keeper is going to be the highest paid player in the team by, I think, nearly triple, actually. I think it could be nearly triple. Yeah, but nearly triple. Ben Knight's currently on 10 grand a week, which means this guy will be on nearly triple his wages, which is stupid as Palmeiras rejected £10 million bid for the striker. I think we ignore him for a while, come back later on. I already know there's going to be some comments down in the comment section saying, Tom, financially that was not a great deal for that keeper when he's going to be back up. I know, but we've got to think long term. We've got to think long term. By the time he's 20, I'm expecting big things from him. And we're starting to get a few good scout reports for wing-backs come through. This guy's contracted Dinamo. Apparently 4-star current ability. And their crossing and dribbling's a little low. And personality is rubbish. In fact, there's nothing that I really... tackling and technique is great. And to be fair, he's maybe actually in some areas slightly better than Juan Torres. I don't know. We'll keep tabs on him, but we're waiting for more scout reports to come through for right backs before we look at that seriously. But the transfer window has now actually properly opened on the 9th, which is fantastic. So Daley Campbell joins other teams. We've got some of the basically just loads of players are leaving, apart from Pavlik, the young left back, who is joining us right now, as well as Anthony Gordon. So Gordon's back once again. You love to see it. We know all about him, as some players have left the club that we don't care about. Pavlik comes in as maybe not quite as good as we thought, but we've only spent £54,000 on him. So I still think that's a pretty decent deal for 20 determination, driven personality. Crossing and dribbling could be better. The physicals are okay. He's only 18 years old. We'll get him developed and trained up, but for now, he is a backup player, so nothing major. If we look on the loan list, though, now we could explore the loan market a bit this season. See who's available, what we can get in. There's a very good get a striker on loan. Now, this is what I'm looking for. 16 dribbling, 16 finishing, 16 first touch. I'm looking at 17 pace. This is the striker we need. And he comes in on loan for a season. Whilst other strikers in our team develop, he just scores the goals this season. Maybe this is... And we spend the money elsewhere. Can we get him on loan? We can pay his 25 grand a week in wages too. Right, get him in. I think that's a perfect signing. That is exactly what we need. Well, that genuinely could be the striker issue solved. There's no one else on here that I'm looking at that looks amazing. They're all strikers pretty much. We've already got a great one coming in, which is fantastic. There is a wonder kid available here at Tottenham, but is more of a winger than a striker. He doesn't look that good, to be fair, if I'm honest with you. Good physicals, but technical is a bit rubbish. Dale Taylor from Northern Ireland is the man that we need, want and love. We deserve him. So hopefully he does come in. And the fact he's 21... The fact he's 21 and not playing for Chelsea's first team makes me think, down the line, this could be permanent, potentially. But now some bids are being made for our players. Everton want Johnny Herrera. No, you're not having him at all. Sheffield also want a player that we've got on a shortlist somewhere. Don't care about him too much. Tottenham want Juan Torres. He wants to go to Tottenham. We're going to keep rejecting these bids until someone triggers that £20 million release fee clause. No one is having him. Falkirk want Robert Didau on loan, which is a good move, actually. He played 7 games for us last season, did pretty well. Falkirk are in, Scottish League 1. Are they? Did they get promoted? They didn't even get... Oh, no. What? Hang on. What division is Robert Didau meant to be playing at? Championship? Nah, you're not going Falkirk, lad. Fantastic. The keeper, Fuente... I've not actually said his name properly, have I? Nicholas Fuentealba. Fuentealba? I'm going to have to say that properly at some point. Fuentealba. I've got it right. Sorry for everyone who's got across me for saying it wrong all episode long. Fuentealba. Nicholas has had his work permit accepted, which is great. So he's signing for it for £12 million, 6 up front, 6 down the line, in a nice big expensive contract. But it's a wonder kid. Crucially, it's a wonder kid. And he comes in to be absolutely fantastic. You love to see, I just love the wonder kid media description. He's going to be class. He'll end up replacing Bazunu at some point as well. And if we just scroll up a little bit further as well, up to the top, La Cruz also been given his work permit as well. Accept that one. So that's £5.5 million for La Cruz, the 18-year-old winger. Some good additions to the team already. He is as good as Anthony Gordon right now, apparently. Compare with, where is he? Where's Anthony Gordon? Let's try and find him. Gordon, Anthony Gordon. They are just the same. Pretty much the exact same. Gordon just ever so slightly better, but he's only just turned 18 years old, so La Cruz will get a lot better. Crucially as well, is an inverted winger as well, so we can just stick to our normal system, which is quite nice. We are starting to collect Wonder Kids now as well, which is quite nice. We knew about Juan Torres from last season. We saw he became a Wonder Kid. We knew that Fundabrada, which I'm going to say wrong constantly, I'm sorry, is a Wonder Kid goalkeeper. But also Tamat Lumpa is now identified as a Wonder Kid in his media description, which is perfect. And speaking of Wonder Kids, there is another one. There is another one that I quite want to sign from Brazil. A centre-back, 6'5", 17 heading, 17 jumping reach. Pace is actually very good for 6'5" as well, 12 and 14 acceleration. A little bit slow maybe, but I think is very good. 18 years old as well. He's not a right back or a striker, although striker's coming on loan, so that's fine. We've got the money for this, haven't we? I want to bring him in, but we're going to have to pay £16 million to trigger his release fee clause. We're going to have to do it. Like if I go transfer, make an offer, if I put it to 15 million, suggest, they just said unacceptable. We have to put the 16 on the table if we want to sign this guy. I've had him in my eyes for a little while. We've got only £18 million. That's gone quickly, hasn't it? I'm about to bid £16 million on that guy. But look at him. He's looks lovely, and so do his attributes. The question is, do we need him? Do we need him? And if we look at our proper squad view, right? So we've currently got Suva and Admilson. Admilson on a free transfer is just... I mean, don't look at the downward arrows, but Admilson looks good. He's a little short, though. A little short. Suva is probably the best centre-back we've got. Good jumping reach, good heading, but everything else is a little not so great. We have Johnny Herrera as one backup, who is a 6'7". Didn't realise how tall he was, but heading's a bit rubbish. Jumping reach, a bit, heading's a bit rubbish, and nothing else is properly there. Also, ambulance, I do apologise. And then we've also got Mike Taggart as well, who is coming through, heading a bit rubbish, but actually is probably more well-rounded than some of the other players that we're looking at. But if we look to bring in, where is he? Where's he gone? Caio Henrique, he is solid everywhere. I think he would genuinely come in to be the best centre-back, and he's also a wonder kid. Like, if we compare him, we say Suva's the best, right? So compare him with Suva, and Suva's slightly faster and maybe slightly better defensively on the ground that he's older and smaller, but everywhere else, this guy is better. It's £16 million, but I think it's 16. I'm talking myself into it. I'm talking you guys into it as well. I'm not spending them. I've talked myself into this for 5 minutes, and now he doesn't want to talk contracts with us. What? Okay. It's fine. It's fine. We declare interest as a top target. We do that, and we. Is he playing games? He's playing in Brazil, so he should be playing games right now. I don't think we're going to see a schedule, are we? No, we're not. But we've not got Brazil loaded in the league systems in this game. But if we go back onto him and we assign a scout from the scouting pool, I don't know, for 2 matches, right? We'll get news items about it. We'll get this guy interested in us. So talking to the media, let's have a little chat and say he's our number 1 priority. We've got the money. We're going to do everything we can to bring him in. So the money's not an issue. He's the issue right now. Also, right backs are an issue. We should be spending the money on... We don't need a backup right back, actually. How much can a backup right back be? We, though, are now the 36th most reputable team. Is that what it is? Most reputable team in Europe, which is pretty decent. We're up to 36, so we are ahead of Shakhtar, Nice, Atalanta, ahead of Rangers. Oh, because we've got a better coefficient. Obviously, it's called coefficient points. Is it? Yeah, this season's coefficient points here, right? We're ahead of Rangers in terms of coefficient points. Yeah, let me scroll down so you can see it behind my head, right? So we're at the top there. We've got 46, whereas Rangers right now only have 44. So in the eyes of UEFA, we're better than Rangers. The players down here that don't have any positions assigned to them, I don't really know what to do with them. Suter's leaving us. He's going to Atlanta United at the end. That's weird. He's going to Atlanta United at the end of his contract. And Alvaro Fernandez is also leaving us to go to Granada. So we can ignore these two. It's the Cole McKinnon, Stephen Nichol, Kieran Pritchard, and actually Stephen Wilson is a player on the left wing who looks... Where's this guy come from? Stephen Wilson. There's no... He's not got a nickname. He's never been claimed by anyone on the Patreon. Where's this guy? He's a very good left winger. Why am I spending £4 million on a backup left winger who's coming in January when we had this guy? Look, I feel like I've missed something here in the team. I mean, he does look very good. I'm already valued at £6 million. How have I not known this guy's a... I'm very... Stephen Wilson, everyone. Stephen Wilson. Well, it looks like we've got a very good left winger at the club already. Okay. So he sticks around, obviously. It's the Cole McKinnons, Stephen Nichols and Kieran Pritchard I don't know what to do with. Cole McKinnon is a very good centre midfielder. I just don't think he's good enough for us. Played very well last season for Hamilton. He's just not going to fit in our team properly. He's the 6th best centre we've got. So I think transfer offer to clubs. Let's try and get him out. Let's get him out of here for some money. Stephen Nichol, same sort of thing. Young, got good potential, but just not good enough for us. Transfer offer to clubs. We're not going to get much money for him at all because he's only valued at 40k, but we offer him out. And then Pritchard, same sort of thing. Young, good, just not quite good enough. Transfer offer to clubs and not going to get much money for him at all, but get him out the club at least. He's capped at under 20 level for Brazil. Have we got any Brazilians in our team? We add Milson, who's also capped at under 20 level. Right, can we discuss... Promote the club to Caio Henrique, please. No, he's saying no, I don't want to do it. Lads, please. Wouldn't have to play alongside him. That's something we want to do, and I hope you understand. It's not, he's not going to... Add Milson. How do I sack you? I mean, you've literally got one job. Just tell your mate to come to the club. Have we got anyone else Brazilian? We don't, do we? He's literally the only one. Anyway, we should probably spend some time looking at some right backs as well. There's a wonder kid up here who is being bid on for £40 million by Sheffield United. That's not going to happen for us then. Who else is available? There's a guy at Cayenne here, 19 years old. I mean, backup. We need to just think backup. That's all we need to think. And he's more of a centre back apparently than a right back. Crossing and dribbling is low. It's just backup, Tom. We don't want to spend lots of money. This guy will probably want lots of money though, or KM will want lots of money for him. They want 26 mil, and we're not doing that. We just need someone good and young coming in who can be a backup player. In fact, this guy's available on a free. This guy's 28, German, can play anywhere along the right-hand side of the pitch. All we need him for is backup. Let's offer him a trial for a little bit first. What about the loan market? Loan listed players, like there must be someone right on loan who could come in. All we need is a backup player, and I'd rather be spending the money on Henrique. You see, Brooke Norton Cuffy, what a name that is. Now he's available, as is this guy from Leeds. He's more of a centre back apparently. He's got some really good physicals though. What's Brooke Norton thingy like? Actually, he'll be good for a backup. I think to save money, we try and get him in on backup because I really want to sign Caio Henrique. I think he'd just change our defence and go up a notch. Also, not hearing anything about the chap, the striker, Dale. Why have we heard nothing of this guy's rubbish as well? Let's not sign him because he's actually terrible according to the coaches. Oh, literally, as I say that, Dale Taylor is set to sign for us on loan, which is amazing, by the way. Dale Taylor coming in. He looked absolutely incredible. This is what we need this season. Whilst the young players like the Harry Storms, the Thad McRae's, the Sean McRae's, they all start to develop a little bit. We have this guy scoring the goals. Oh, this is going to be superb. Here he is, Dale Taylor. Look at that, 16, 16, 16. Look at the pace and the physicals. He is really good. And so what this means is Dale Taylor will swap over with Harry Storm to be our striker. Harry Storm then goes on to the bench as sub 10, and that kind of fills that out. Cole McKinnon also leaving, which is great. £1.1 million in the bank for that one, which is good. I've also got Scottish Premier League shortlist, which is kind of like the best outside of the Celtic and Rangers teams. And by looks of things, there's just not a lot there, really. I mean, they're good squad players, but no one here is going to be superb right now. The loan for the right back, though, from Arsenal has been accepted. I mean, there aren't really that great many right backs, and now he's here to sign for us. So we've got a backup right back in place now. I'm really putting all my eggs into this Caio Henrique basket. I do feel a little bad. I feel like we've got 30 million to spend, and we're being very cautious with it right now. I say cautious. We're going to spend more than half of it on one player if he wants to sign for it, which he doesn't really seem to want to right now. I don't know. I think people may have thought we were going to try and get in as many players as possible, but we can't do that. We need to get really good young individuals. We need the wonder kids. We need wonder kids, and we've signed one. We're looking for a second. So we're getting somewhere with Caio Henrique. It's reported in the news that we've got scouts there looking at him. Sources close to Caio Henrique have indicated that he's not currently interested in a move, but does appreciate the interest. Lads, you will sign for us. I'm going to make it happen. This time he does want to talk to us, though. Right, this is it. The patience, the scouting, the talking to the media, it's worked. He's currently now thinking about it, and he wants to be a star player. That's fine. Let's get rid of the attacking thing, but we'll challenge for the league title. Yes, happy with that. Good. Finalise, negotiate. Right. He has locked in a release fee clause of 19 million, which is a little... We can't get rid of that. I don't like this bit, though, where we have to do everything. Doherty, can you sort it out? He suggests this. You know what? I'm going to suggest that as well. And it's not too bad. He's come back saying he wants 28. 20. If we say 25, that would be great. Appearance fee to 5. But you can have 4.5 for a clean sheet. I kind of want to get rid of the unused substitute fee. So maybe push up to 26. Suggest. Right. He's gone from not wanting to talk to us at all to this being the quickest negotiation of the entire episode. Caio Henrique, you love to see it. We're spending a lot of money on him. But we looked earlier, he is head and shoulders taller than everyone else, but also the best defender, head and shoulders better than everyone else. This has got me very excited. Very, very, very excited. Apparently the Scottish Premiership only just finished as Dundee United get relegated. Unlucky Dundee United. Celtic win in dramatic style, which was very sad. Board want more wages for coaches. I tell you what, lads, yeah, that's fine by me. More for coaches, that's fine. Agree to all of that. Season expectations, Champions League, I'm going to say group stage minimum to get some more transfer budgets. That seems reasonable to me, a bit more transfer budget there, but we'll stick to everything else as reach the final minimum. I mean, it's not really asking for much, is it? Lille apparently want me for a job interview. Well, we're going to decline that one as Leeds want Herrera for not much money, so we're going to reject that. Reading are going to pay us £9 million for Ben Knight. He's got no interest in joining them, which is absolutely fine because I would cry if he wanted to leave for that. He rejected a £40 million move last season to Genoa. I'm not selling him for anything less than £40 million, I think, going forwards. Juan Torres really is in demand, but I don't understand why clubs aren't bidding big money for him. He's a wonder kid. He's clearly in demand. He's very good. So why are clubs giving me rubbish bids constantly? He's not going anywhere. Juan Torres is staying at the club as the work permit for Caio Henrique has been given to him, and the wonder kid is set to sign for us for £16 million. Oh, what a deal. I mean, we have got the £19 million release fee clause hanging over our heads. We're going to try and get rid of that as soon as possible. But I can't really see any more transfer business being done. We've only got like 3 weeks until the season starts, actually. 3 weeks until the season starts, and then we're playing games. I'd rather get the players bedded in, playing friendlies. I just don't really see any... I mean, I'm looking at these 5-star potential things coming through the scout reports, and it's making me think I want to sign all of them because they're 5-star potential, right? They're all goalkeepers, though. We don't need a goalkeeper now. We've got a wonder kid in. So, as I say, we've got 3 weeks until the season gets started against St Mirren, but we'll come back next time for the Champions League. I think it's the final qualifying... I hope it's the final qualifying round. I think we've got some qualifying rounds to go through in the Champions League because we came second in the table this season. But hopefully they're not going to be too difficult for us and we can get through into the Champions League group stage. I promise the teams that, or the board that I should say. We go to the third qualifying round. There's 2 rounds to play, a third qualifying round and then a playoff and then group stages. So actually there's a lot of qualifying to do before we get to the Champions League group stage. So that's going to be exciting, but hopefully the new players will just guide us through that and we'll do incredibly well. So we are going to finish things up here for this evening, but thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you're not too cross we didn't quite spend all the money, but I think what we did spend, we spent well. If we spend any more, we actually do run the risk of going into the red at some point. If we don't get Champions League football, this will very quickly go to red, this £9 million we've got left actually. So I think financially we have been sensible. We're not overspending on wages either. We have done well. We've been sensible. There's no guarantee of Champions League money this season given the qualifying rounds we've got to go through actually. So, actually, we have been sensible not spending all of it. But I'm sure it's much more fun to spend all of it and go into the red and ruin the club financially. It's good fun doing that. Either way, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode. But until then, have a wonderful evening. Take care. Lots of love. Goodbye.